There are a great many things to hate in life, and hate is something that I think we simultaneously own up to being the product of animal. Although I find it peaceful thinking about plants being here before animals, and so there's plant life, pe- peaceful trees. It's a bit overemphasized that monkey to man. They were closer linked chronologically. The reductionist principle that all life has common ancestry, trans-species is what evolution is teaching, and you know Darwin was profoundly, by today's standards, ill-equipped and was wrong about many things about genetics, but that's no and pay no attention to the Christians trying to say he recanted on his deathbed. Just take that as another proof that they're in denial that the resurrection didn't happen, and that Jesus isn't on a strapped to a rocket pack, flying. As Carl Sagan calculated, if it were at the speed of light, still um, in the Milky Way galaxy, though well out of our solar system by now. I would have run out of air within 30 seconds of leaving the atmosphere. So, Christian logic. Now, with the battle of the sexes, and on that topic, and demography there, my opposition to this Freemason definition of a homosexual man, a person whose responsibility comes from the rebellion against their own sexuality, and they ironically enjoy the mythos of Lucifer and Lucifer versus God, all male, male on male action, football, Brumbies, male on male action. Um, but when they think that they've identified a gay person, they think it's their duty, their moral duty, because without justification, they stipulate that their religion is the source of their moral enlightenment. But they aren't even enlightened enough to give you one reason why they think that their deities actually exist, much less that they be the source for their moral awareness. So that they're imposing homosexuality, something I'm opposing them for, one of the many things. When these definitions of, as we're calling them, sexual orientation or sexual preference, that is vital to how the definitions are to be categorized. So you don't categorize them by by way of pointing to some internal endless war, always about the genitals, and I think the Pet Shop Boys. I love the collaboration of the Pet Shop Boys and David Bowie with Hello Space Boy from about 1996. It's a brilliant clip, but I think a homosexual male couple, or homosexual male, doesn't have to uh, say that gay pride, I don't think, is the same thing as or equivalent to hating women. I don't even think that they need to say, we as a demographic are so oppressed that it's not possible for us to flirt or attempt courtships unless we speak out about hatred of women. That's going against the definition of sexual orientation, and it's also going against, there's a mutual interest between all of these demographics of sexual orientation that are marginalized, and that is that they're not being recognized as natural, despite homosexuality being scientifically observed amongst sheep and such and such. You know, where you could say there's an element of truth in what I don't think is natural. If the characterization of the sexual orientation is who you favor, then it's this he who is not with me is against me. Um, why why put up walls if you know every subsidiary of this LGBT community definition that a bunch of people that want to say they're inbred from a garden and so they eat Jesus, and they're normal, and heterosexuality is normal. What the groups and the demographics are essentially up against is the claim that heterosexuality is to be stated as normal, and that's it. But what I think within the squabbling, and I do understand and appreciate that just the invention of this, oh, but they're off over here in this community of LGBT people, and you know, essentially being equivocated to mental illness. But what I would point my finger out at is that a gay man doesn't need to be a gay man by hating women, and that's what I wouldn't respect about a gay man, and it would then use the pejorative term faggot. If I was to encounter a gay man who thinks that, I don't think you're doing any favors to your own rights movement by thinking that you can't say what being a loving gay man is without speaking in hatred of a one woman per 45 seconds. Remember that these definitions are about who you're oriented towards, not campaigning against and contesting against other people that in principle have something in common with you, which is that they consider themselves to identify with marginalized demographics on the basis of sexual orientation or sexual preference. So because nobody's going to respect that. Oh, you want gay men to be respected more, so you're saying, I like to pick fights with people on individual terms. Say, it's not the fact that you wear blue shirts when I'm wearing red shirts. It's not the fact that, I like to try and see who's trying to speak out, saying that they know how to save the world, and have a bunch of idealistic hokiness that hasn't even gotten past the milestone of knowing how to rebuke a disgusting religion. So long way to go from there. Yeah, so I accept the responsibility of using pejorative terminology, but it's when I'm saying, it's not that I'm opposed to homosexuality. If a lesbian girl thinks that, because she's lesbian, I'm gonna feel like I have to watch her have sex with a girl, or that she has to be a hater